He's a 6'9", goofy, blonde-headed, really loyal friend.
Jordy has the ability to just bring out the best of everybody. He personally wants to know how you are doing. He doesn't want to be about him.
Jordy is really energetic.
His effort, his attitude are just tremendous. He really embodies the way that I want every UNCG basketball player to approach every single day and every possession.
I started playing basketball because of my sister. She played on a high level in Holland, and I saw her play as a little kid, and that actually made me want to play. I always went to her games, and she went off to college, and I thought that was so cool that I decided I really want to do that as well.
It was a much different process than we're used to here in the States. We found out about him actually because he played in a tournament in Rhode Island during his year playing in the Canary Islands in Spain. And then we went over to the Canary Islands to visit with him.
It was definitely like the toughest thing I've ever done. We were practicing 4 times a day, starting at 6 a.m. every morning. My coach there actually told me you came here as a chubby Dutch diabetic kid, and I left there as the captain of the U18 team leading the national championships in Spain. Fortunately, we didn't win, but just getting there was a really big accomplishment. So that was definitely the most important year of my life as well for basketball. I didn't have any athletics training staff like I have here. I was pretty much me, like just me and myself, just trying to get regulated, stay regulated. The doctors advised me to check my blood sugar real quick because it might have been diabetes, but they don't know for sure. It's not in my family, so it wasn't really a risk or anything. But they checked my blood sugar, and the machine pretty much almost blew up. It was that high, like the machine couldn't even calculate it. So then straight to the hospital, and that's where I found out that I had diabetes.
The biggest difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes, with type 1, the individual is born with the disease, and they usually don't find out until their adolescence or early adult years, but they do not produce insulin. With type 2 diabetes, it's usually brought on by later in life, and it's usually brought on by poor diet, and individuals create a resistance to the insulin.
I found out, day one when all the freshmen showed up together, and we were all here, and we started getting to know each other. And next thing you know, he told us. I was surprised. I've never met a basketball player that had diabetes.
Our coaches came to me and said, what are the chances or what are the possibility of a student athlete being able to play with diabetes? So we had a lengthy discussion about it, and at the end I was like, why do you ask? And well, we're recruiting a kid with diabetes.
Certainly impacted our feelings about him in a positive way, because we knew he had overcome some things in his life, and it said a lot about his character. And that was what really drew us to Jordy. A lot of people don't realize this. We were recruiting another guy on his team kind of before we were recruiting him, but we were aware of him. But the more we learned about him and the high character guy he was and the type of person he was, we started to realize that was the guy that we ultimately wanted, and the diabetes had a little bit to do with that.
My parents were like, okay, this is your thing, and we don't want to be like we don't have control over you. This is your thing. You'll be able to live with it for the rest of your life. So they were always there to support me, but it was pretty much me just finding my own ways to regulate my blood sugars and count the carbs that I eat, and that way find a balance between my sports and school and my life with diabetes.
He doesn't use diabetes as an excuse for a mistake, for anything that he might have done wrong. He does not use it as an excuse. I mean, he's very responsible. He knows he has to, eat at certain times or keep up his sugar level, however that works, and he knows that.
This was the first thing I asked the doctor. I said, can I keep playing basketball? He said, well, it might take a lot of self-regulation and discipline, but it shouldn't have to be a problem. So that was the mindset I had from day one, and I still have that, and that's why I share with everyone else in Holland and in the world.
Being a basketball player, especially at this level, you have to be disciplined, you have to work hard, and that really helps him, I think, handle his diabetes.
Well, he's had to live a more structured life than most kids, and most college kids for sure, but he's had to start that early on in life. And I think it's made him much more responsible. It's made his outlook on life much more mature. And I think it's helped him as a basketball player because he's able to focus. He's able to persevere through adversity and things like that better than a lot of people his age because of what he's dealt with. And again, his diabetes had a lot to do with that.
Being active sort of improves the sensitivity that you have for your insulin, which means that you don't need as much. For instance, in the off season back home in Holland, the insulin that I took, actually like the dose doubled in the off season when I wasn't active. People with diabetes like me, we don't make insulin. So whenever I eat something with sugar or drink something with sugar, I always have to fill it into my pump and give me the insulin that I need.
He does take it off for practices, but he will put it back on a few times during practice, during water breaks, in order to make sure he has the insulin his body needs. During games, he wears it when he's on the bench, and then once again takes it off when he goes into the game. This really helps him to maintain his insulin levels throughout the day.
Basically, whenever I eat something, a meal, or drink something with sugar, I count the amount of carbs that is in the food or drink that I consume, and then I put the carbs in my pump. And that way it calculates the amount of insulin that I need. And I really do not need as much insulin in season because I'm just so busy with sports and really active. And like I said, in off season when I'm injured, that really like changes my sensitivity. So I need to like balance that out 24/7. It's like a full-time job.
You look at how much he's not only embraced diabetes but tried to help others. It says so much about his character. And he's the ambassador for all young people in Holland with diabetes. I mean, he's the head of their foundation, and he takes it seriously. Go look at his Twitter account. He takes it seriously. He responds to every email, every tweet that comes at him. And I think he really wants to use his platform as a way to help others. And he has a lot of energy for it. It's not something he just says. He actually follows through with his actions.
He uses basketball to teach people that no matter what your dreams are, you can only go as far as you want to go. I mean, he could have easily said, you know, I can't do this, it's too much of a hassle, or, you know, I don't feel well, you know, I can't play up to the level that I should, but he's never ever done that.
Jordy, you know, he really is an inspiration, just the way he lives and what he goes through, because most people would not choose to do what he does.
Ever since he got here, he wants to lend a hand, he wants to get his message out. He's done that in the past, he's working on it here. He doesn't let the disease affect him, and he doesn't ever feel down about it. He has it, he lives with it, and he wants to affect those around him.
It means a lot to me just showing other people, mainly children, that like when you have diabetes, a lot of children feel down and they don't believe that they can actually do whatever they want to do in life. And I feel like I'm sort of a living example, a role model, you can say role model, to them, to show them that if you're positive and if you're disciplined and if you actually believe in yourself and your ability, that there shouldn't be anyone or anything that can stop you from doing what you want to do. And I want to play basketball. I wanted to go to college. A lot of people thought I couldn't do it, and I believe that I could, and now I'm finally here. So trying to share that message with everyone else, I guess.
Initially, in just a short time, he's impacted our culture with his work ethic, with his attitude, with his coachability, and I only think that's going to get greater as time goes on. And I think he'll impact us on the floor with his play. I think he'll impact us in the community with the type of person he is, with the character that he has. But he really has impacted this team with just his work ethic and attitude in just a short amount of time that he's been in this country.
I made it to college. That was you can say a midterm goal. But I definitely want to become a professional basketball player. If that's in America, I mean, NBA is more of a dream than an actual realistic goal to me personally, but I definitely want to become a professional basketball player in Europe, EuroLeague, and I just want to, like what I've been doing in Holland, being a role model, people like that, I just want to do that on a global scale, and I just want to be someone for people to look up to, and like I said, just being an example for other people that shouldn't be anyone to stop you. If you really, have a goal and you're positive and you believe in yourself, you should be able to achieve anything you want. Hallo, ik ben Jordy Kuiper en ik laat diabetes niet in de weg staan van het realiseren van mijn dromen.